Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Mama Christine's podcast, Living Life Through Experience. It is February 12th, and this is our 6th podcast of the year. And tonight is going to be all about love. Why? Because Valentine's Day is on Saturday. Now, remember, love is not just love in a romantic situation. Love comes in many different forms, and we're going to touch on all of those and talk about some experiences in the meantime as well. So, for those of you who watch my videos every day, you know I have been posting a video every day for the month of February from the romance deck, which again, the romance deck, remember, is about love. It's not always romance. So, all right, so let's go. And if you hear a lot of tip-a-tapping, that's my dog. He's with me. He loves coming with me to work. So, all right, guys, here we go. Message to start. Boom. Getting to know each other. So, right off the bat, where I'm going with this one, couple of things. One, get to know yourself better, okay? Because who we truly are and how we portray ourselves can be two different things. Meaning, you know, I may come off as a very confident and strong-willed woman, but behind the scenes, meaning within myself, I feel very weak. I feel very introverted and very fearful. Okay? So maybe I need to reconnect with myself to show myself that if I can be strong-willed and put myself out there in front of everybody else, why can't I feel that about myself, right? Second thing, the getting to know each other part, a lot of relationships, friendships, right away it's like, oh, we hit it off right from the get-go. This is the person. We're going to be together forever. And we've never taken the time to really get to learn the other person. And never getting the time to understand what kind of person they are energetically, emotionally, physically, mentally. And, you know, you can go 6 months down the road, a year down the road, and you're like, what the hell? What happened? Again, did you take the time to get to know this person before you jumped in head first and waited for that engagement ring? Or waited for that, you know, friend who claims they're a friend and they're not? You know, so take the time to understand what's in front of you, who's in front of you. Does it make sense? Does it feel right? Or are you just being jumpy because you want someone or something in your life? Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it what you need or is it what you want? So think about those things. So getting to know yourself, getting to know other people, getting to know what you're getting yourself involved in, even if it's something you love as far as, say, what your passion is. So, you know, in the beginning when my sister and I opened Sisters, it was like this thing hit me like a ton of bricks and I had to do it. I mean, it was so strong. I mean, there's no doubting it. None whatsoever. There was no doubts in my mind. And I looked into everything we needed to do. What do we need to do to get a name and a place, and how much is this going to cost, and how much equipment do we need? How much, you know, furniture do we need, and so on and so forth. And, you know, I got to know it before I jumped in and just went with the yes. I knew this is what I needed to do, and I knew this is what I was going to do. But again, making sure I've checked off all my boxes and knowing it's the right time and the right thing and everything that's involved. I didn't want to be 6 months down the road, a year down the road, and go, oh my God, I didn't know I needed that license. Oh my God, I didn't know I needed insurance. Oh my God, I didn't know. Whatever. We knew before we opened the doors. So remember that. Get to know everything first. So, right? Love. Everybody wants love. So first and foremost, people look for, relationships. Well, let's back up. Let's start from the beginning, okay? When your life starts, where's your first love? It's your mom, your dad, right? You have this bond, this connection. These are the people that brought you into this world. And this is where your love starts. Now, for some people, you may have had amazing parents, okay? They were there for you. They uplifted you. They guided you. They showed you what you needed to know and things you needed to do, and so on and so forth. And you received a lot of love. Now, let's say you have parents that are kind of so-so, or you have one that's great and one not so much. What happens is you're getting mixed messages, I call it, because one parent is loving you to death and doing whatever you need and helping you and guiding you and uplifting you, and the other one is just complaining about every decision you make, and you don't do anything right, and you'll never amount to anything, blah, 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 and never even says, I love you. I came from a household where I love you was implied. It wasn't said. I want to say my dad did not say I love you to me until I got married the first time. And when he walked me down the aisle and lifted my veil, he said, I love you. And oh my God, that made me cry more than my wedding did. And it meant a lot to me. And I knew my dad did, but he never said it. And of course, that's a generation. They weren't lovey-dovey people. They weren't super emotional people. And so I get that. But, for myself, I tell my kids all the time, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I've been doing that since the day they were born. So maybe you have parents that one great, one not so great. Now this creates conflict because, it's like, I'm just going to use an example. I'm not picking on anybody. Mom's so great. Mom always listens. Mom helps me out a lot. Mom understands. Dad doesn't pay attention. Dad doesn't listen. Dad just over talks when I try to tell him something. Dad thinks it always should be done his way. He doesn't understand me. He doesn't know where I'm coming from. He just, is looking at things in one direction, not all the different directions. I don't want to do what he wants me to do. I want to do what I want to do. And because that one parent is always bickering with you over how you should live your life, it creates this little rift where part of you loves him because he's your dad, but yet part of you doesn't like him because he's not being your dad. Okay. And it can drive you crazy. But again, it's, as you get older, you have to learn to have boundaries, even when it's family, and that's sad because again, society has taught us all these years that family's everything, and it's not. It really is not. Family are people who connect with you mentally, emotionally, physically. They're there for you to support you through thick and thin and no matter what. I know a lot of people around me that would jump hoops for me, and everybody should have people like that in their lives. And sometimes, unfortunately, it is not your family, So that's an aspect of love. So, you have like my kids. I remember my daughter one time saying, I don't understand. Why can't I have a dad who just loves me and has fun with me and is like my friend's dad who jokes and plays games and takes them out and does things with them? Not that it always had to cost money to go out and do things, but it was like just do things with them. And I don't have that. So that's a love aspect, that something is missing and that person is looking for that love that they're supposed to have, but don't, And I remember telling her, I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Do what you got to do. Love the people who love you. And the one person who just doesn't, there's not much you can do, Excuse me, sorry. So we got the two parents who love you, the one that does, the one that doesn't. Now let's go with the two parents who don't love you. And I've seen this happen many times. And, maybe they have issues. Maybe they have sickness. Maybe, I don't know, whatever the situation is. And people like, my parents suck. I left when I was 15. I've been on my own since. And it's like, okay, why? It's unfortunate. Like, why does this happen to people? And I truly feel bad for people like that. And again, now this person has to learn love because they've never had the love. Okay? So you go from people that have had all the love to half the love to no love. And what does that child do? Whether they're a small child, a teenager, a young adult, and full grown adult, what did I do wrong? Could I have done something better? Could I have done something different? I don't understand why they don't love me. Maybe I shouldn't have been born. And that might sound harsh, but some people think that way. And it's very unfortunate. It's one of those things you have to realize that love, just because people bring you into this world, does not mean they're going to love you the way you want to be loved. And that's what creates our whole life in front of us. Because again, as a child or as a teen, or even a young adult, you're not going to heal from that so quickly that you can just run off and fall in love and know what love's all about and understand. And you're not trying to just fill voids, but you actually have true love with people in your life, whether it be friendships or romantic relationships. So when you don't have that love from the get-go, love just becomes a tough thing as you go along. And you learn not to have love for yourself. Because if they don't love me, why should I love me? Because again, as a child, you don't understand why they don't love you. You just assume if your parents don't love you, there's something wrong with you. So if there's something wrong with me, why should I love me if something's wrong with me? It's a whole twister of emotions and craziness that happens. But hopefully, if you're one of those people that you've only had half the love or no love at all, that you've gotten the help you've needed, or you've worked on yourself through journaling or meditation or counseling or coaching or Reiki or anything that you're attracted to help you to work through your stuff. So that's where love starts. Starts from the minute you're born. It starts before that, from your parents. I'm going to pretend everybody loves you, okay? For the sake of speaking right now. It starts when you're in utero. Your mom is holding you. She's cradling you. She is letting you grow within her. And it's that every day, I remember when I was pregnant, oh my God, it was like a routine every night. Just sit there and hold my belly, and just feel like, do I feel the baby move? Do I feel anything? What's going on? And it was just like, you don't even know this little person yet, and already you're in love. That is an emotional connection that you have. So it starts from the get-go. It's like, as soon as mom and dad know there's somebody on the way, they're like, okay, that's it. The love starts. So now again, maybe you have great parents, decent parents. Now you're a child, you go to school. And now, for whatever reason, kids pick on you. Maybe you said something wrong. Maybe you spelled something wrong. Maybe you're not wearing the greatest of the latest fad in clothing. Maybe your dad has a decent job, but to other kids, they're like, oh, that's a stupid job. Why would he do that? That's nasty. Kids are cruel. Been there, done that, seen it. It's not right, but it happens. Okay. And unfortunately for today, with all this lovely technology that everybody's so crazy about, it also gives people the opportunity to pick on others even more so. Because, as they say, when I was in school, you got bullied from 8 to 2 or whatever the time is. And after that, you were free. It was like somebody let you out of jail. Now it's 24/7. Because they're not just picking on you at school. They're texting you. It's social media. It's videos. It's all kinds of craziness. So these things cause a person, and because as you're growing, you're trying to figure yourself out. You know what I mean? It's like, who am I? What am I doing? Where am I going? Hormones are kicking in. All these things are happening. You're growing, and you want to fit in, and you want to have friends, and it's just like, it's crazy. And you know that. I'm sure everybody watching here is already an adult and knows this, right? But you've had all this stuff thrown at you. And I had stuff thrown at me in school. And I did feel less than. I felt like I was too fat. I felt like I didn't have the nicest clothes. They used to, oh my God, your mom shops at Kmart. Yay. Today I look at that and I'm like, I don't care where I shop. If it's cheap and it fits me and it looks good, I'm happy. You know what I mean? I don't care anymore, But when you're a kid, all that means so much. It shouldn't, but it does. So you've been picked on for the way you look because you wear glasses. Maybe you're too heavy. Maybe you're too short. Maybe your clothes aren't the greatest. You don't carry the best handbag. You're just a geek, or you're just, a jock, or you're just this, or you're just, oh my God, anything to pick on somebody, right? But what does that do to somebody when you pick on them? It makes them feel unloved. It makes them feel like they should not love themselves because they're not living up to everyone's expectation, including their peers. And that is sad. That is very, very sad. That's why I always made sure that with my children, it was, they knew they were loved. They knew they were cared for. They knew that I was a mom. And yes, if I needed to be tough, I would, but I would explain why I would come out with what I had to say. I'm not appreciating the way you're talking to me because, and then I would explain, or I would not like what you're doing because this is what's happening, what I'm seeing. So, they were always uplifted. I always praised them when they came home from school and did their homework. If they showed me paperwork that they had good grades on it, they did great on a test, an essay, whatever it was, I was like, great job, good for you, keep it going. My kids had straight A's from kindergarten through college, honestly, with maybe an occasional B plus somewhere along the line, which even then they were like, oh my God, a B plus, right? Not that they were one of those kids that they think they needed to have an A all the time, but knowing that they always had A's because they always worked at their homework, worked at schoolwork, worked at their tests, their quizzes, all of those different things. And when you work at something, you improve. So that's what they did. Not every kid has that. Some parents are like, yeah, whatever. I'm watching the game. Yeah, whatever, I'm busy. Sorry, I gotta go cook dinner. Sorry, I'm on the phone with a friend. Sorry. Sometimes you can turn around and say, oh, if you can give me a minute once I'm off the phone, I'll come right over and help you. I'll be 2 minutes, right? Children are not something to just bring into this world because you want one. It's like, oh, I want a puppy. Okay, great. I don't want to take care of it, though. It shouldn't be like that. Your focus needs to be where it needs to be, and kids need that focus from you. So when they don't get it, they feel less than. They feel down. They feel, fearful all the time because they're not doing the right thing. They're not doing it right. They worry, what's people going to think? What are people going to say? And it shouldn't be like that. So these are all the things that are leading up to why love is so hard for some people. Now you get into the dating scene, okay? Say you're teenagers, you're in high school or early college, whatever. And, people want to date, okay? They want a boyfriend, they want a girlfriend, whatever it may be. And maybe you're one of these kids who have been picked on, bullied, or just maybe only had half the love at home, okay? I'm just using examples. Now, you may feel like there's something missing, of course, and you may get this one boy who comes over, a girl comes over and goes, oh my God, you're beautiful. Oh my God, you're so handsome. Oh my God, I've been, watching you and I've been wanting to talk to you. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I'm getting attention. And that little energy just jumps like, oh my God. And great, sure, it's exciting. But is this the right person for you? And I know it's young, it's high school, early college, whatever. But again, sometimes kids will grab onto the first person who shows them attention. And I hear it now from one of my kids that they're the age group that they teach, they're talking about boyfriends and girlfriends, and I'm like, huh? How old are these kids? And they're young. And it's like, wow, and it's just crazy, I think, sometimes. But, so when you're getting someone that pays that kind of attention to you and makes you feel loved and makes you feel special, you hold on to that person. So therefore, when they say, I don't want to go out with you anymore, you're devastated. I did something wrong. Maybe I should have done something different. What can I do to make it better? You're looking to fix it all the time, and it's not even you. But again, when we have that hole in our heart, that void, I call it, then, you're always looking to fill that void. What's missing? And then all of a sudden somebody comes along and you're like, yes. And you grab on and go, oh, I feel fulfilled. My heart feels full. And it really isn't. It really isn't, because when you're reaching out and getting love from someone else to fill that void, you're basically just putting a Band-Aid on your heart. That's really what you're doing. You go into adulthood, the same thing. Now you get a little more serious in your relationships, right? And again, been there, done that, right? Been there, done that. Gone out with the wrong people. It's like, why? Why do we do this? And not just from the not having love aspect, but it's many different factors, of course. And of course, for myself, I'm a very big heart-centered person. I am a Virgo. So Virgos love to help everybody. I want to fix you. I want to change you. I can take care of that. Let me take care of you. That's who we are. Is it right? No. Okay. Have I learned? Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, many times I still catch myself going, oh, well, I'll take care of that. And it's like, no, it's not up to you to take care of it. Leave it be. Okay. And so you have to, be mindful of those things. So, pay attention when you date or go out with people seriously, and notice the energy you're picking up off of them. Because guaranteed, if it's not the right person, you're already picking up vibes like, I'm wondering why they said that. Well, that didn't feel very nice. Oh, he just, because right away we'll make it, oh, he had a bad day. She had a bad day. It was a tough day, so they're probably just cranky. I'll let it slide. But again, you got to know where to cut that off, because yes, people are people and people are going to have days, okay? And people are going to be cranky. But again, if this is happening all the time, it's like, I really like you and I enjoy going out with you, but it seems like every time you have a shitty day, you're taking it out on me. And it's not my fault you're having a bad day. And I just feel that you do this all the time, right? Pay attention, red flags. People that are narcissistic, people that are selfish are going to be quickly drawn to people like me, right? So if you're like me, be mindful, pay attention, take off your rose-colored glasses and be mindful of what is coming towards you. Because it's very easy when you're that person who's just like, gives everybody the benefit of the doubt. When I met my second husband, it was just like, oh my, look at those beautiful blue eyes. Oh my God, he's so sweet. Oh my God, look at this. Oh my God, look at that. And yes, I did love him. But again, that behavior didn't come till later. Because, they fish. Out with the fishing line and they reel it in. You know what I mean? Loosen it up a little bit, reel it in some more. And things slowly start to change until you're like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. And it's unfortunate, but it does happen. But see, I know what to look for now. I really do. So be mindful of I need to do this for myself. I need this for myself. I need. And it's, that's all well and good. But sometimes it should be, well, I really need to go clean up, but do you need anything from me before I go do that? It's a two-way street here. You know what I mean? Which therefore then you have the choice to say, yes, please help me finish this up before you go do your thing. Or you know what? I'm all set. Go right ahead. It's just pay attention. Pay attention to how someone talks to you. So, if you're one of those people that has gone through a lot of, you're not good enough, you'll never amount to anything, you're so stupid, all you do is make mistakes. If you're somebody who's part of the LGBTQIA community, I'm sure you go through all your stuff too, okay? Because you're different, and I still say to myself, I've been saying this for years. Oh my God. I look at people, I'm like, why are you bitching about gay people? What do you care who they're sleeping with? They're still a human being. They still have a consciousness. They still have energy. We're all the same, just sleeping with different people. Give it a break, right? I truly feel that. I know too many gay people to sit there and bitch about gay people. Really, I mean, it's ridiculous. We're all human beings. Get along. Anyhow, okay, that's my rant. But you know, you go through things as kids. You know, you go through peer pressure. You go through, if you're part of the gay community, you know, you go through a lot of things there too. I saw kids in my school picking on kids who they thought were gay because they were still kind of quiet back then. And it's just not right. It's just not right. You know, and you know, the people who want to be called they or them or whatever the pronouns are right now, I don't care if you want to be called a circle or a square. I don't care. I like you for you, not what your name is, not who you sleep with, none of that stuff. You know? So it's like, give it a rest. Give it a rest. But these poor people get bullied all the time. Everybody, if you really sit back and think about it, everybody, myself included, has had times where you look at people and sometimes it comes out and you feel bad afterwards, but you judge people. We do it. You know, that's a human instinct to judge people. The difference is as you grow as a person, you learn to hold your tongue and say, wait a minute. Why is that person the way they are? Okay. I remember before I had kids, before I met my husband, where I was working, we took care of people, and this one woman I worked with, and I feel awful. I felt awful then, and I still feel awful sometimes. I'm like, why did I ever do that? That's not, to me, that wasn't who I was, but it just got my buttons pushed so much, and God knows what else was going on in my life at the time, because this is way before all this stuff. And she wanted to know what she should do for one of the patients on the floor. And I was just like, I think had it up to here with everything I had been dealing with at that time. And this person was a little slower to understand different things that changed throughout the day and the weeks and whatnot with patients. And I just blurted out, I'm like, well, if you want to go dig her up, you can have her. Because the woman had died 2 weeks previous. And she knew this, but yet she's still asking, like, what does she need for, you know, what do I need to bring in there to get her ready? And I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, wow. I look back at that and I'm like, wow, I was so mean. Like, not normally, but that day, for whatever reason, I just, my tolerance level was gone. And I apologized afterwards. I really did. And I just couldn't believe I did that. And I'm like, I know we all do it. We all do it. We all have that time where our tolerance level is just not there and we blurt something out. You're human. It can happen. But I'm going to tell you, when it does, make sure you express to that person why you did what you did. And that you should apologize for it, because there's no need of it. We should not be judging one another. You know, we're so quick to look at the cover of the book and go, oh my God, how stupid of a story is that? You don't know what the story is. You haven't read it, right? Just like when you see Joe walking around work and he's mumbling and cranky and rah, 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 rah. First of all, think, like, why is Joe like that? Is Joe just an ass, right? No. Maybe Joe's got issues at home. Maybe Joe just found out he's got cancer. Maybe Joe got into an accident and no longer has a ride. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. So don't judge. If you have an issue with Joe, say, Joe, you know, I don't know if you're going through something right now, but you're sounding a little rude when I talk to you. Is there something I can help you with? Or is there something you'd like to talk about? Maybe try being the kind person, the loving person, right? That someone might need. Okay? So there's just so much that we do. And, you know, I thank God every day for all my emotions, right? Because he gave us so many. But love is the main one. You know, everything that we do for other people, kindness and compassion and what, that all comes under the umbrella of love. You know, and I've talked about the love, fear. There's only two emotions, love and fear. And just like sadness and anger comes under fear, you know. I've seen people, like, instead of looking at something and having a normal adult conversation about it or a discussion, no, they just reel off and start yelling. It's like, why are you yelling? Why do you always sound angry? What is going on? Is there something you want to talk about? And it's like, wow, there's a lot of angry people out there. And yes, sometimes you have a right to be angry. There's things that are going on that everybody has a right to be angry. But we don't need to be angry and mean. We can be angry, put our foot down, and make our point known without being mean. That's a big one. That's a big one. All right, I feel like I need to pull another card here. I don't know why, but I do. Because we've got a lot of love going on here. Okay, here we go. True love. True love, true love. All right, so true love, right? What is true love? True love is you're going to love this one. True love is when you can look at somebody, no matter who it is, and love them for who they are, no matter what they've done. And you're probably saying, yeah, right, okay. True love is the ability that no matter how many flaws a person has, you love them for who they are, because you know somewhere underneath all the craziness and all the flaws and all the things that they've done wrong is a heart. A heart that is a spark of the divine. And I remember talking with another, one of my mentors. She had done a class and she said that, and everybody's like, what? No, it's true. Everybody is a spark of the divine. Every person who comes to this earth is a part of the divine. Okay? Now, everybody is given the option of light and dark energy. We have both within us. We have a left side, we have a right side, we have a up and down and front and back and whatever. And you have a light and you have a dark side. And it is your choice to act upon whatever side you want, the light or the dark, the good or the bad, right? The love or the fear. That is always your choice because you come here to learn, right? But underneath, even if you go dark, right? You go with the fear side, you go with the angry side, you go with whatever bad things you're going to do. Underneath all that is that heart that has that spark of the divine. So we are all the same. The only thing different is how we act and what we choose. So remember that. So true love is the ability to look at someone beyond their flaws and love them anyway. Now, this does not mean, okay, let's say, for example, let's say you have a child who has robbed a bank, shot someone, in and out of jail, whatever it is. As a mother, and usually it's parents that can do this, and I understand why, will love that person, that child, no matter what. Now, they may not like what they did. They can be very angry about what their child had done. And mind you, I'm talking adult children here. But they still love them because that's their child. And they know that underneath all that craziness and that bad behavior is their child, who they love deeply. You see it all the time. I don't care if it's TV shows or real life court drama. How many times you see, somebody gets sentenced to prison for life for doing something and the family cries because they love that person. They don't like what they did, but they love that person because it's their family and they're sad to see that their family has to go now and do this. So somebody out there may be judging right now going, well, they asked for it. They did it. What do you think was going to happen? Yeah, exactly. We know this. But again, it's like, don't judge it. Why did he do it? He has his reasons, I'm sure. There's a reason why we do everything we do, good, bad, or otherwise. So that's where the judgment has to stop. And remember, true love is loving anybody who, yes, even Charles Manson, okay? Everybody, and I know there's people in this world right now that you're going, yeah, no, 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 no. I get that. I understand. I know what you're talking about. But underneath all that craziness is that little, I call it a little purple spark of the divine, right? Because to me, that divine color is such a royal purple, I call it. Everybody's the same. We're all the same. We all came from the same place with the same energy. So remember that. You don't have to like somebody. You can say, you know what? I love you. You're my brother, but no, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And that's okay. Because if you can't fix it and you can't change it, maybe then you got to let it go. And if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. Here we go. Here's another one. What do we got? Engagement. Okay. Engagement means what? Commitment. Even if it's in the romantic sense, you're going to give somebody an engagement ring, you're making a commitment, right? I am yours, you are mine, we are one. That's a commitment. Now, in life, maybe you need to make a commitment to yourself. Maybe it's time to let go of all the BS you've struggled with your whole life over who loves you, who doesn't love you, and what you've done wrong, what you've done right, what you could have done differently. Because guess what? Your past is the past. It's not coming back. You can't change it. You can't fix it. You got to let it go. So why don't you start making a commitment to yourself to start from this moment on, knowing that you are a spark of the divine. You are perfect as you are. You can keep working towards whatever goals and dreams you want, including yourself, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, okay? You are perfect as you are in this moment. Can you improve on that? We all can. To whatever you want it to be, right? I love myself because I am perfect as I am. I love the way I look. I love who I am. I do not care what everybody else thinks of me because what everybody else thinks of me is none of my business. And I trust and believe that the perfect person out there will show up for me in my life and love me as I'm meant to be loved. Wholeheartedly. I will find that man, that woman for my romantic partner. I will find those friends. I connect with the family that connects back with me on the same level. Those kinds of things. That's making a commitment to yourself to make those things happen. And anything else that's going on in your life, if it's a new job, a new business venture, a new whatever, make the commitment. You've got to do the work. You know, we can ask the divine all day long. We can ask the angels all day long, help me, help me, help me. And they're throwing things at you and you're just waiting for that magic wand to go, there you go. There it is. It's like, no. They're going to send you signs. They're going to send you messages. They're going to guide you in the right direction. They're going to put opportunities in front of you. But you've got to make that commitment to work on what you need to work on to get where you're going. And if you want to heal from your past experiences of being hurt emotionally, having your heart dug out, the grief that you experience from the loss of loved ones, these are all different ways that we love or don't love, you know? You've got to make that commitment to make it happen. Nobody can do it but you. Here we go. All right. Religious factors. This one gets me. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringings and spiritual path. Now, this could be religion, it could be spiritual, it can be a belief system. It can be any of the three. Because not everybody's religious, right? Your life is affected by your belief systems, whatever that is for you, okay? And what I mean by that is like myself, when I was married to my first husband and he cheated on me, I was like, we're going to fix this. Because marriage is forever. Okay? I'm talking about young and stupid. Anyway, lesson learned. And I speak for myself. Okay? But my belief system was you're in it, you stay in it until the end. Till death do us part. Right? And I came to realize, I'm like, what am I doing? And this is where I get caught up with a lot of people that come to see me for readings or Reiki. I'm like, They're stuck in relationships that they just keep holding on to because of either fear, what's the family going to think, I'm Catholic, I shouldn't do this, blah, 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 blah. First of all, if you have a religious background of any sort, know that, and I've said this before, there's about 4,000 religions out there. Guess what? They're all right. Why do I say they're all right? Because if you're Catholic, your religion is right. If you're Protestant, it's right. If you're Buddhist, that's right. If you're Muslim, it's right. It doesn't matter, right? Whatever belief system you believe in, that's what's right for you. Just like I don't have a religious connection, I just have a spiritual connection of things that I believe in, okay? But what happens is you're miserable in these relationships. Now, whether it's family or romance, okay? Or even friends. I'm like, you're miserable. Yes, I am. You're so unhappy. Yes, I am. So why don't you leave? Because I don't know if I can make it on my own. My family would be so upset. What are people going to think? What are people going to say? I'm like, who cares? And then I would look at them and I'd say, how old are you? And they would tell me. So let's say somebody's 30 years old. Let's say the average lifespan, I'm going to go with 80, okay? Because I think the latest numbers that came out, 79 is like the high number for a lifespan now. So let's just even it off at 80. You're 30 years old. You're absolutely miserable in your marriage. He's mean to you. He's contradicting. He's selfish. He's a narcissist. You could live to probably 80. Do you want to spend the next 50 years just like this? And all of a sudden they think and they're like, oh, no. Okay, putting things into perspective. I know we get married because marriage is a commitment. Sometimes those commitments fall apart. Even I know people that seem like they were the power couple of the century, and yet they split up and you go, oh my God, why? Because it's whatever went on between them, okay? But it happens. If you're not happy, first thing you should ask yourself, do I want to live like this for the rest of my life? No. Because you know what? While you're walking around feeling miserable and unhappy and angry, everybody else is having a grand old time. They're happy. You're not. Is that fair? No. If you break up with them, will it make everybody unhappy? Sure. But you know what? Eventually they get over it and you heal from it. Think about that. All right. Calling in your soulmate. This is your last card for today. Calling in your soulmate is calling in, first and foremost, your higher self. Okay? You are mind, body, and soul. All right? And this is the body. You have a mind and you have a soul. And it's consciousness and subconscious. Okay? And you get all these things connected. And what happens is when you learn to connect with self and heal the self, you're a bigger and better person than you ever were. Work on you first. Because if you want soulmate in the romantic sense and you don't have one, guess what you're going to find? You're only going to find someone who matches the energy that you are feeling right now. So if your energy feels less than for yourself, you're going to find somebody who's kind of less than for you too. Calling in your soulmate. Connect with self. Heal thyself. Move on from the past self. Okay? Fix it. Heal it. Let it go. Now, if you've taken all the time you need to work on you and you really feel confident, like, I am ready. I'm ready for that relationship to come into my life. This is when you're like, all right, universe, divine beings, I'm ready. Tell them what you want. I want somebody who's loving and caring and kind and compassionate, supportive, someone who listens when we have a conversation, somebody who is spontaneous, somebody who, I know, there's a million things you can add, but start with the emotional pieces first. Somebody who loves me, purely loves me for me, right? And don't always name names because, you may see somebody and go, ooh, I want that person. Doesn't mean they're the right ones for you just because they look like they are. Again, I'm in it to win it, and then you find out that it didn't work. I want a perfect person that is perfect for me. I want someone who is willing to share experiences, share the work, share everything, okay? Someone who likes to ski or swim or travel or race or whatever it may be. Put that out there. So you can find the perfect person for you when you are where you're supposed to be. Do you have to be 100%? No. But I mean, working on yourself and really starting to feel like I've let so much go. I have more respect for myself now. And one thing I'll always tell you is that you've been working on yourself when you can be completely by yourself and be completely content with that. That is so true. I have been alone for 11, going on 12 years. Dated a couple of people. Weren't the right people for me. But I recognize that. Let it go. But you know what? I mean, I'm open. I'm open to meeting someone. I really am. But again, I'm content being by myself too. I don't feel like I need a man in my life. If something breaks and I can't take care of it, I call somebody. You know what I mean? You should not need someone in your life. You should want someone in your life. And that's where I'm at. I would like to have someone in my life. I don't need someone, but I want someone. So, think about that. People are all like, oh, you need me. No, that's so egotistical. Nobody needs you. People want you in their life. They don't need you in your life. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it's true. It's totally true. When the universe is trying to help you out, a lot of times we want things, and the universe is like, that's not what you want. What you need is this. They know better. But, when it comes to people in our lives, our friends, our families, our significant others, you should want them in your lives. I want you to share with me. You don't need it. You want it. Okay? A little lesson on needs and wants. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap things up here. It is Valentine's Day on Saturday. That's 2 days away. Even if you're single, go do something for yourself. I heard Papa Gino's is doing heart-shaped pizzas. All right. Domino's, I think, does the same thing. There's places out there doing single nights. Go out and do something. Have a Galentine's night. I'm sure you got friends that don't have dates or significant others, right? Have the girls hang out, get some food, watch some movies, whatever. You know what I mean? But do something for yourself. Get a massage. Go for a Reiki session. Right? Whatever you got to do. Do your thing. But don't treat Valentine's Day like it's only for couples. All right? Valentine's Day is a day of love. I said this the other day, one of the videos I did last week. I'm like, Valentine's Day was a slaughter, right? It's true. It's true. If you research Saint Valentine, it was a slaughter over people getting married and things like that. So, but we'll take it for what it is today, a day of love, right? So have love for yourself first and foremost. Love for you, love for your significant other, your children, your family, your friends, your work, your passion, whatever it may be. Enjoy the day. Have fun with it. Do something fun. And you know what? Even if you take yourself out, go out and grab a bite to eat, go to a movie, do something. But have fun. Have fun. All right. Yeah. The last one. Let go of control issues. What does that mean? Exactly what it says. How's this going to happen? Let it go. Right? But I want it to go this way. Let it go. Okay? We as human beings have this terrible habit of wanting to control how everything goes and how everything works and so on and so forth. I'm going to tell you right now, let it go and allow things to unfold. Work on yourself, love yourself, and like Louise Hay says, stand in front of that mirror every morning, I don't care who you are, look yourself in the eyes and say, I love you. So from my heart to yours, may you have a wonderful week, a wonderful thing. Oh my God, I was going to say Thanksgiving, a wonderful Valentine's Day, whether it's by yourself, with friends, or with your significant other. And remember to love yourself, love those ones you're with. And I will talk to you guys next week. Have a great night and a great weekend.